So some questions, I'll read them out. Anonymous attendee. In mixed dentition, if I have a 1646 in X-bite, I bet Crossbite. Simon, you better read this. Some technical dental terms that you better
I
take
got
up.
it. We got
Just
it.
just
We got
read
it.
it. Just
Yeah.
read it.
All right. In mixed dentition, if I have a 16/46 in a crossbite, should I refer for early ortho?
Not
Um,
early. It's too late if it's in Crossbite. So that's not early ortho. But absolutely, you're already too late. Sorry, they were asking you, Simon. But
yeah, for sure. Our profession is quite attuned to crossbites because crossbites don't self-correct and they can drive all sorts of issues such as asymmetric growth. So um, one thing that we will be certain every orthodontist will be doing in early intervention is correction of crossbite. So absolutely, if you see a crossbite, see the thing is, if you have to consider if you see anything that isn't correct, at least take records and sit down with your providers of orthodontic care and ask, hey, is this something that you'll look after for me? We have to start taking records. We have to take photographs. We have to take measurements, just like our normal dental charts. If there is malocclusion, we should note it. Malocclusion is a problem. Just like periodontal disease is a problem, just like cavities is a problem, just like halitosis is a problem, we should note it in our charts. And then if it's outside of our capacity to manage or understand, we should be seeking consults from, from those who know more.
Okay, very good. So another question. Since nasal breathing is primary and normal, which medical organization declared that dentists should now be responsible for protracting both dentitions in an attempt to overcome a narrow posterior nasal airway anatomy?
go
I
ahead,
don't,
Simon. Yeah, I
yeah,
argue
I
with
don't
the
think
premise.
there's, you know, the thing is, although we're very much uh, flag wavers for evidence-based practice. Evidence-based practice is literally 30 years old, right? Prior to the 2000s, everyone just did what they thought was best. We would put some research up to verify, but it's literally plaster on the table comparing what looks best. So a lot of the things that we used to do that appear to give us the outcomes that we wanted were not necessarily good for the big picture. We're dentists, we're obsessed by teeth. We want them to interdigitate nicely, and we want to have a good alignment. We were told that what we did in the mouth had no impact or bearing on the general health and well-being of the child. So we just did what we thought was best to get the teeth to mesh. We didn't do it specifically to harm. We didn't do it specifically to ignore potential harms. We just did the best that we could. So I think the point isn't to point fingers at, this orthodontist damaged this child. The point is to understand that we have new understandings today. And we also know that not everyone is open to these new awarenesses. And it's not for us to convince people who are not open to these concepts. Our point is just to gather the literature to show what is the new paradigm, and then just let those who are interested come and seek more knowledge.
I would say, in terms of those that are interested, really, when people get to me with their kid, and it's usually the female adult caregiver in pediatrics, it's a mom. Okay. I'm getting more dads as we speak, but for the most part. And the mom, I got a 3, 4 year old with big dark circles under the eyes, can't sleep, breathe. And I just say, look, I hope dad's on board. If he isn't, let me have some time with him. Because if you aren't both on board, we're not ready to treat. I won't say I won't treat, but if you have buy-in from both parents that this is in the best short and long-term health interests of my baby, then you're home free. That kid will be putty in your hands. That's the best kept secret in orthodontics. If you have both parents on board, not for straight teeth, they'll get that, but this is in the best short and long-term health interests of my child, you're fine. You're going to be able to elicit cooperation. I I just wish more people understood that. And it took me a while to learn it. They didn't teach me that in my pediatric behavior guidance training. They really didn't. I learned it mainly from the anthropologists. That's how hunter-gatherers raise their kids. They don't punish bad behavior, they ignore it, and they reward good behavior. It's so simple. You can treat 2, 3, 4-year-olds with expanders every day of the week. We're doing it every day. So hope that makes sense.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then one of the things that we forget is that as dentists, we're obsessed by gadgets. We're obsessed by appliances. We're obsessed by stuff that we can make. What we've got to do is understand that a child's posture, how they fight gravity in this existence, is something that the parents can help with when they raise their children. And it's up to us to teach parents how to improve the general oral posture and the nasal posture of a child. When we understand the interconnection between posture, function, and growth and development and health, and that's only possible when we explore the literature, because we're not making any of this up. This is all verified historically through research and development. This is all basic sciences. We have to move away from gadgets and go back to first principles of how do we as human beings thrive on this planet called the Earth. We need to know what environmental factors are throwing off the genetic potential. We need to be able to help parents understand how children breathe, how they sleep, how they eat. Like, we come back to the basics: air, water, food, and shelter, right? They're the 4 things that we have to tick off. But the quality of that air, the quality of that water, the quality of that food, the quality of that shelter has an impact on the lifespan and the health span of that child, all right? Do we make that air polluted? Do we contaminate that water? Do we factory process that food? Do we use plastics in the fibers for that shelter? I don't know. This is what we are dealing with today. We have to understand how each of those things impacts us on a cellular level, on a macro level, on a growth and development level. When we understand it well enough, then we have a sound argument to present. And will parents be able to change everything in their life? No, absolutely not. But if they can change the big things enough, then we might get better life, better health in our children.